Okay, like I said before, this is all pretty new to all of us, so I'm going to keep these lessons short and sweet, and as we progress and we get better at it, then I will add more and more to the lessons, okay? So today's lesson is going to be about what we're going to do before we actually go to the job interview, okay? Let's say we've written our resumes, we did a real good job with those, we sent them out, and now we've gotten some resumes out there and we're waiting for some calls to come back, okay? So the first thing we want to talk about is phone skills, all right? One of the very first things we want to do when we have those resumes out there is make sure that we have a pen or a pencil ready and have something to write on, because you never know when the phone call is going to come, and you want to be absolutely prepared to write down whatever they tell you to write down. The first thing you're going to want to write down when they call is the time and date of the interview. It sounds like a no-brainer, but you would be surprised how many people don't think about those kinds of things, all right? Next thing we want to write down is the exact address of the place you're going to go for the interview. You might think you know where it is. Write it down. I can't stress it enough. Write it down. Is there anything special that you need to bring? Ask them. Is there anything special I need to bring? If they say yes, what is it? Write it down. Write down the name of the interviewer. If they have a funny name or something you haven't heard before, ask them to pronounce it. They'll be more than happy to tell you that, okay? Ask them how to spell it. Write it down. Make sure you remember how to pronounce it. This first time is kind of a gimme. After that, they're going to expect that you know how to say their name, okay? The next thing we want to do is we want to learn about the company, okay? We want to find out everything we can about the company. Nothing will impress them more when they start asking you questions about the company you're applying for and you can answer them because you've done some research, all right? Some of the suggestions I have here. Ask someone that you know who works there. A lot of times you guys apply for jobs because you know somebody that works there already, so ask them, okay? Do they know anything about the company? If you have a chance, say it's a store like a Walmart or a Target or something like that, go in, walk around, look around, see what it looks like, okay? Go on their website. Almost everybody has a website now. Go on their website, take a look around, see what it's all about. Another thing you can do is, like I said, besides going on their website, Google it, do some research. What exactly does a company do? Have they been in business a long time? What is their longevity? In other words, does it look to you like they're going to be around a long, long time? Because you don't want to get a job and then boom, they're not there. Little side note, long time ago, there used to be a bunch of stores called Ames. And when Mrs. Davis and I, we first started out and we were living over in Pennsylvania, she went and actually got a job at Ames. And I'm not kidding you, a week later they went out of business. And then she went to work for Walmart. But in 1 week from the time she got hired, they were gone. So, check into that kind of stuff, all right? Any questions that you might have about the company as you're looking through these things and finding out, write those down too. When you go to the job interview, it's not just them asking you questions. You're going to have an opportunity to ask them questions. So write these questions down. When you've done all your research, on some more of the questions you can write, why did the position become vacant? Now you don't want to get into detail like, hey, did you fire somebody? But maybe they're expanding and they need more people. Okay, that's not a bad question to ask. Is there some type of special training I'm going to need? How long is it going to take? Anything like that. What are the hours that I'm expected to work? Any questions that you think are important, you write them down. Now, a lot of these questions, as you know, may be answered during the interview, but you can write these things down anyways, because a lot of times you'll go in and you're nervous and your adrenaline's pumping, and they say, is that everything? Do you have any other questions? You say no, and then later on when you leave and you start to calm down, you're like, oh no, I did want to ask a question and now I've lost my opportunity. If you write it down, you can just say, if they say, do you have any questions? You can say 1 second and pull a slip up and say, yes, blah, blah, blah. And no one's going to, if anything, they're going to see that you've come prepared and you've thought ahead, okay? Another thing I want to talk about, do not ask questions about salary until you're offered the job. It doesn't make you look good if you start talking money before they even are serious about hiring you. So just leave that alone, and when they start talking to you about actually offering you the job, then you can talk money. If they bring it up, fine, but you should not be the one that brings it up, okay? One more thing I want to talk about, and it's to kind of review the things that you're going to need to make sure you have, okay? The personal data sheet, I have it on there because some of us have done it, and I just wanted to include that. If you have a resume, you don't really need a personal data sheet, but definitely want to bring a copy of your resume, and I would suggest probably 3 copies of your resume, okay? Sometimes they have a copy, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they won't have one, just so you'll have to give them one, okay? So bring at least 3. Any correspondence, okay? If they sent you a letter, if they sent you an email, print those things out, bring them with you. Pen and paper, I would say more than 1 pen just in case your pen doesn't work or stops working. Your questions, any samples of your work if possible. You know, if you're going in for an interview and you want to bring something to show them what you've done in the past, that's fine. And then bring everything in something neat. Briefcase, folder, envelope, anything like that, okay? You want to make sure that you look very prepared and you look ready to go, all right? Okay, I think that might be it. So, there is a sheet on Google Classroom with some questions. And when you're answering these questions, I don't want you to just go back and pull up what I've told you or what I've printed. I want you to actually think and give me some stuff from your brain, okay? So some of the questions that I might ask you here and there, you're not going to get from the PowerPoints or from our conversation. You're going to get from your own thoughts, and that's what I'm after. So that's going to do it for today. If you have any questions, email me, get a hold of me through any means necessary. I will definitely get back to you if you need me to. And I guess we'll get back together tomorrow. Thanks a lot.